There was a time when Neymar looked destined to become football's next king. He had the talent, the flair, and the confidence to light up the biggest stages in football. Every touch thrilled fans. Every dribble felt impossible. Millions believed he wasn't just the future of Brazil, he was the future of the sport itself. But then, in a single moment, everything changed. One challenge, one painful fall, one injury that would become one of the most unforgettable moments in World Cup history. Was this the moment that changed Neymar forever? To understand why that night mattered so much, we have to go back to where the story began. Long before the bright lights of Europe, Neymar was dazzling crowds in Brazil with Santos. Still a teenager, he played with the confidence of a seasoned professional. His quick feet, fearless dribbling, and eye for spectacular goals reminded many fans of Brazil's greatest football legends. The hype around him grew rapidly. Clubs across Europe wanted his signature, but Neymar stayed at Santos long enough to win major domestic trophies and the Copa Libertadores, helping restore the club's place among South America's elite. By the time he finally joined Barcelona in 2013, expectations couldn't have been higher. It didn't take long for him to prove he belonged. Alongside Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez, Neymar became part of the legendary MSN attacking trio, one of the most feared front lines football has ever seen. Together, they entertained the world with breathtaking football. Barcelona won La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the UEFA Champions League during an unforgettable 2014-15 season. Neymar scored in the Champions League final and established himself as one of the game's biggest superstars. Everything seemed to be falling perfectly into place. Then came the summer of 2014. Brazil wasn't just playing in another World Cup. They were hosting it. For a nation where football is more than a sport, lifting the trophy at home felt like destiny. Every stadium was filled with hope. Every match carried enormous pressure. And at just 22 years old, Neymar carried much of that expectation on his shoulders. He embraced it brilliantly. He scored 4 goals during the tournament, delivering match-winning performances against Croatia and Cameroon. His creativity, confidence, and leadership inspired a young Brazilian team that continued to believe they could become world champions. As Brazil reached the quarterfinals, the dream remained alive. Standing in their way was Colombia, a talented side enjoying the greatest World Cup run in its history. What followed would become one of the tournament's defining moments. The match was fierce from the opening whistle. Neither team gave an inch. Challenges flew in from every direction as both sides battled for a place in the semifinals. Brazil eventually took control and earned a hard-fought 2-1 victory. But the result quickly became secondary. Late in the match, Neymar chased a loose ball near midfield. As he jumped forward, Colombia's Juan Camilo Zúñiga collided with him from behind, his knee striking Neymar in the lower back. Immediately, something felt wrong. Neymar collapsed to the ground in visible agony. The stadium, moments earlier filled with celebration, suddenly fell silent. Players from both teams gathered around him. Medical staff rushed onto the pitch. Neymar couldn't stand. He was carried off on a stretcher, tears visible on his face as Brazilian fans watched in disbelief. Soon after, doctors confirmed the devastating news. Neymar had suffered a fractured third lumbar vertebra in his back. The injury would rule him out for the remainder of the World Cup. According to doctors, the damage was serious, but it could have been even worse. They explained that had the impact been slightly higher, it might have caused far more severe consequences. For Brazil, it was heartbreaking. Their captain, their leader, and their greatest hope was gone. His teammates were emotional. Fans across the country struggled to believe what had happened. The dream that had united an entire nation suddenly looked fragile. Without Neymar, Brazil faced Germany in the semifinals. What followed shocked the football world. Germany defeated Brazil 7-1 in one of the most astonishing results in World Cup history. No one can say Neymar's presence would have changed that outcome. Football simply doesn't work that way. But his absence was deeply felt. Brazil had lost not only its best player, but also the confidence and inspiration he brought to the team. For many supporters, the image of Neymar watching helplessly from the sidelines became almost as unforgettable as the defeat itself. Recovering from the injury was about more than healing physically. Mentally, it marked one of the most difficult chapters of his career. Although Neymar returned to top-level football and continued to produce moments of brilliance, injuries became an unfortunate part of his story. He remained one of the world's most gifted players, winning league titles, starring for both club and country, and later making a world record move to Paris Saint-Germain. Yet with every season came even greater expectations. Fans expected him to become the undisputed best player in the world. Critics questioned every setback. Every injury reignited conversations about what might have been. It would be unfair to say that one match alone determined the rest of Neymar's career. Football careers are shaped by countless moments, decisions, and challenges. But many fans believe that night against Colombia marked a turning point. Not because it ended his greatness, but because it reminded the world how quickly football can change. Even after everything he endured, Neymar continued to entertain millions with the same creativity, courage, and joy that first made him famous. Perhaps that's what makes his story so compelling. It's not simply about trophies or statistics. It's about resilience. It's about fighting through pain, criticism, and impossible expectations while continuing to play with imagination and passion. And maybe that's why Neymar remains one of football's most unforgettable players. But one question still lingers. What if Neymar had never suffered that injury? Would football history have been different? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more incredible football stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one.